I turned on the microphone. We're back after our Comic-Con preview. And, we skipped over Comic-Con because we skipped actually covering stuff from Comic-Con because everybody else on the internet was going to do that. So we're doing something that no one else on the internet has done, and we're going to be
Aquaman looks bad.
No, it didn't. Aquaman looks good. It looks a little generic and by the book.
It looks like Green Lantern.
It looks a little generic and by... I'm tired of that. I'm sorry, but it's just
But it's true. It's true.
I mean...
I don't know if there's any movie that has looked like Green Lantern besides Aquaman since Green Lantern.
I mean...
So for me, I don't throw it around a lot.
It's an underwater city. What else are they supposed to do?
No, I don't mean that. I just mean, like, in terms of, like, cheesy DC badness.
I think it looks fine. My only problem is that we have seen this story. I mean, unfortunately for Aquaman, we saw this story earlier this year. It's just Aquaman, it's reversed. Aquaman's Killmonger and, what's-his-face is Black Panther. But I think, it looks good. It looks fun. I mean, except for that stupid scream that, whatever the fuck it is.
I'm so used to it by now. I don't really mind it.
I really got over it, and then it came back, and then like he does it even longer, and at the end, where he's just like, yee! It's just like, what are you doing? What the hell? Like, I'm not on board with Jason Momoa's Aquaman just yet. I don't need this like broier than broy dude, surfer dude all the fucking time. Like, I like when he's even in Justice League when he's just like. When Wonder Woman throws a lasso around his foot, I like kind of the softer side of Arthur Curry, that painful. Even when he's just like, I came to save my home and the people that I love. I kind of like that side a little bit more than like, let's do it, yeah, blah blah blah. Like I don't need that.
Yeah, I guess that's just a problem because like that's what a lot of people like Aquaman and that's like a lot of what people like talk about. Regarding, yeah.
Hoo-ha! I think that.
But like my man has like more personality.
Yeah, Godzilla.
It's sidetracked.
Yeah, Godzilla looks great.
Yeah.
Godzilla looks great. Shazam looks great. By the way, this is Miller Farrow, and I'm Darren Leslie. I'm your host, and that's Miller. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about Mission Impossible Fallout, and Russell, we're going to kind of divvy this episode up. We're going to be talking about Mission Impossible, the Mission Impossible series for the first half, and then we're going to move into Mission Impossible Fallout, which we both have seen. I got to see it earlier this week, and then I saw it again tonight, and Miller saw it again, and Miller saw it tonight, and he saw it in IMAX, so he's going to give us a little insight on that. But I really enjoyed it. Miller, how did you feel about Mission Impossible Fallout? Just really generally, and then we're going to go back to the rest of the franchise.
Great movie. Took a little bit for me to really get into it, but even prior to that, I thought I can tell like this is very masterful filmmaking.
Yeah,
like it's like you're watching a craftsman like fine-tune its art in real time.
The Mission Impossible franchise in general, it's now spanning 6 films. It's been running since, 1996?
Yes.
And this is a franchise, I think this is, a lot of people have thrown this around, but I think it really is. I think it is probably one of the best, and that's in the eye of the beholder, but it's one of the best or the best running franchise we have right now. Because each film, I was talking to Miller earlier, like, it's very hard to rank these films. And Miller, what was the film for you that really made you kind of fall in love with this franchise? And the franchise is Mission Impossible 2, 3, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and then the latest Fallout. So what was the film that kind of made you fall in love with this franchise?
Probably the first one, because I got the trilogy on DVD as a youngster, maybe for Christmas or something, and so I watched them all. And it just sort of became like something I held very, very dear to me. Like I watched them a lot, but yeah, probably the first one because just I like watching them all because I watched them like very closely together. But and then Like, it had been a few years, and then I watched them again for Ghost Protocol when that was coming out.
Yeah, mine was Mission Impossible 2. Mission Impossible, I think I've only actually seen bits and pieces of it. I don't think I've actually seen the entire thing.
Oh, okay.
Remembering. But I remember, Mission Impossible 2 was the one where, like, I really sat down with my mom and watched it, and I was just like, this is cool. And, like, it's just...
You want the sunglasses, you want Tom Cruise's hair.
Yeah, Tom Cruise's hair, he's, like, rolling around the ground with dual-wheel pistols, and it's dan, 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 dan. And then, like, he's just, the motorcycle scene is amazing. They're blowing shit out of the sky. And then as you get older, he's just like, this is ridiculous, but, it looks pretty. But, I don't
really mind too. Like when I think when it gets ridiculous, like it has a charm to it.
Yeah.
The only times I really mind is like when they do the stupid editing tricks where they show like the same shot of Tom Cruise with the gun, and like they do that a couple times. You're like, okay, that's just too far. But it's very stylistic without being too much.
I will say it has,
for the most part.
I will say it has one of the best mask reveals. I still think it's so fucking sinister. So it is so evil what he does. And then when the villain in Mission Impossible, Ethan puts on his face on one of the villains, and then the other villain, it's his brother, he kills that guy, and then like the guy realizes it's not Ethan. He rips off his face, and he just looks down at his dead brother's body. It's like, ah!
Wait, that's his brother?
That's his brother.
And I never picked up on it.
It's so evil.
Yeah. And he's just like, it's Ethan Hunt just running and smiling, like, I got him.
And then doves fly out, and it's just like, dude,
what is with the doves?
It's John Woo. John Woo loves slow motion doves. Have you ever seen Face Off?
No.
Miller, you have got to watch Face Off. You just watch scenes from Face Off. Face Off.
All right, I've seen scenes.
Yeah,
like,
just watch the scenes.
His face. Oh. The dub. That's another thing I thought. I know it's John Woo, but I don't think it works for. I think it's just too random for Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I don't think Mission Impossible needs to be a little grounded. Not completely, but just one foot in our reality. Like that, maybe going that far with that kind of flair is probably not the best, as we've seen. As the franchise grows from there, because the franchise took a little bit of a break, because Mission Impossible 2 was 2002?
2001, maybe.
Mission Impossible 2. It was 2000? 2000! Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right, because it was,
Yeah, so it took a break for 6 years, and then it came back and reinvented itself.
It had production issues.
Yeah, which, do you know anything? I know Collider posted an article about that.
I read the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, what were some of the production issues going on with Mission Impossible 3?
Just, they brought in David Fincher at one point, and they had a plot they liked, and then...
You know what it was?
I don't think they said, but it was a plot that David Fincher was interested in, and then Paramount wasn't, and I think David Fincher said it was like something, it was like one of those things where you're just not gonna, I just might as well not do this because like I'm not gonna agree with them, and then they have like,
and he's already had his studio trouble.
Yeah, and then they had a whole like a cast lined up, like Scarlett Johansson was going to be in it.
Wasn't Brett Ratner brought on?
I don't think so. No, maybe different.
Was it Brett Ratner or McGee or something?
Maybe, but yeah, and I don't think that article said it. So yeah, just I basically got to the point where they were ready to make this one movie, and then it fell apart. So they got a.
And then JJ came on and like fired the cast, right?
I don't know if fire is the right word, but yeah, it just fell apart. I think it fell apart, and then JJ came on.
Yeah, but JJ did come on, and it still holds up to be my favorite. Joe Carnahan. Oh yeah,
came
on. And then that would have been fucking insane. It would have been. I think it would have been great, but I don't think it would have been. What would I've gotten this franchise forward? I think that would have been. Carnahan described it as a punk rock version of Mission Impossible, one that distanced itself from Mission Impossible 2, which Carnahan considered a parody of a spy movie.
I mean, I get that.
I do too, but I don't know. I like the sleekness of what the
John Woo
the sleekness of the Mission Impossible series going forward, of 3, 4, and 5 and 6.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, J.J. Abrams came on. I think Tom Cruise saw some episodes of Alias, and he really wanted to bring him on. And
sure.
This is still my favorite. I don't know. And this is a special movie for me in general because this is the first movie I saw by myself. I was 10. Everybody else went to go see Over the Hedge. I was just like, I want to see Mission Impossible 3.
Oh, you saw it in the theater. I didn't even see it there.
And I really liked it, except for that guy who was... the weird thing about this movie, too, I saw the ending of it before I saw the actual movie. Like, I was sitting... I forgot exactly how it happened, but I saw the last 15 minutes, and then I left to go back with them to watch Over the Hedge, like some of Over the Hedge. Then my movie started, so I went back and watched the beginning of it. So it was kind of weird, like how the movie starts at the end. Like the movie starts mid-res anyway, so...
so it didn't really even ruin anything?
I mean, it did in a way, but it was just kind of...
It did, yeah. But
I was just like, I know how all this ends. And I get to see the ending again, in a way, and then go through it. The only annoying thing, there was this guy in front of me, I think he was with his wife or somebody, but...
How the hell do you remember that?
What? What, do I remember the guy in front of me?
No, I'm just surprised you remember, like, the specific details of your Mission Impossible experience.
It was a very special...
Oh, yeah, you said it.
But, because it was the first movie I saw by myself. It was cool. But, yeah, there's this guy in front of me who was just like... He was reciting all the cool parts... And, like, when Tom Cruise... I said John Cruise. Who the hell is John Cruise? When Tom Cruise shot, like... When he wakes up from his death and he's just like... You did all that? He said it right before Tom Cruise. He was like... She's about to say. You did all that. And then Tom Cruise said it. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. I mean, we don't need your commentary. But, yeah, I really like this movie. I really like how... And I like how it's just... I like movies where you have characters that are kind of battling for normacy. Like, trying to have a normal life. Even though they have this extraordinary thing that they do. And I like the mystery of it. I like the rabbit foot angle. I really like how he never really explains what it is. And I think Lane finally overtook Philip Seymour Hoffman as the best villain. But yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman is one of he's his villain. This is what I kind of would want to see from Lex Luthor. Just this really slimy guy who thinks he's just so above his adversary.
That's true, yeah.
So, yeah, I really, and the music, Michael Giacchino's score, the Shanghai sequence, I have a lot of fun with this movie. How do you feel about Mission Impossible 3?
I think I have conflicting feelings on it. I think it's quick, it moves well, but I think it's just kind of standard action movie.
And that is the end of this podcast, because... no Mission Impossible slander will be talked here, so I'm joking. Go ahead.
But I think the third act, I think it really finds itself in the third act because it becomes basically like almost like a Saw movie or torture movie. And the whole movie looks like a Saw movie. Like watching, I watched them all again this week for Fallout, and I'm just like it looks like a J.J. Abrams movie, but it looks like Saw 3, which also came out that same year. But, yeah, I do think, I agree with you. I do think Philip Seymour Hoffman is one of the best villains because they don't even give him, like, a ton to work with. He's just that good. It's like he just wandered onto the set and they were just like, hey, you want to be the villain? It's like, sure. But,
I'm going to count to 10.
Yeah, I love all the stuff with Julia. I think that became one of my favorite aspects of the series.
Yeah, which
I was surprised that they actually picked up like again on in Ghost Protocol. But yeah, I think I don't know if it gets too much. If Mission Impossible 3 gets too much hate. I don't know if I'd say that because I agree with what people say, but I'm not sure if that's the worst or if Mission Impossible 2 is the worst.
I mean, I don't think any of them are actually bad. I wouldn't even call Mission Impossible 2 is probably not at the standard of what we have now, but it's still like that's a look. I can throw that on in the background and have like the last 20 minutes alone are just fun to watch. How they handle some of the characters not that good. Especially Mission Impossible 1 through 3. I don't think 1 they have some good ensemble, but 2 and 3
they became more Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and they don't really make room for the ensemble. But 4 is where that kind of all changed. I mean, I would say 3, even though I like it, it is a kind of lowballing for the Mission Impossible franchise.
Well, someone put it best. They said it was like the Fast and Furious of the franchise. Like, not the best, but it was needed to get, like you said, to get to where the franchise needed to be for, like, the standard.
Because I think this does lay a lot of the groundwork of what comes next. And this is the first movie, and that's another reason I appreciate it. This is the first movie that actually tries to make Ethan Hunt into a character. He's not just an entity. He's not just the cool guy who climbs mountains. Like, he wants something, and he wants to be something. And he also they add pathos to him that he was a mentor to Felicity. I cannot remember her name.
Carrie Russell.
Carrie Russell, yes.
I forgot how many people were in Mission Impossible 3 again. Like Greg Grunberg's in it. Aaron Paul. I forgot Simon Pegg was in it too.
Yeah.
And
that's another thing.
It's just kind of random for him to come into Fallout or Ghost Protocol, but it doesn't.
Boy, has he grown as a side character.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting into it, after Mission Impossible 3, once again, this was another... And it was always weird to me growing up how far the breaks are in between these movies. But we took another 4-year break, and then Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol came along. And this one's directed by Brad Bird, and Miller, take it away, because you really, really like Mission Impossible 4.
Yeah, it might be my favorite. It probably is my favorite. I just love the look and feel to it. Like, it has, kind of a bluishness to it.
Yeah.
I miss that. Like, I think Christopher McQuarrie is great, but I won't mind if he doesn't do another one.
I don't think he should. I mean, I will get into that, but I don't
yeah, I agree. But I think I wouldn't mind if we went back to something more like Ghost Protocol because
it's a very sexy movie.
Yeah, I think the grittiness works for the series, but I'd be glad to get into something new. But yeah, it's just the ensemble worked very well, which it was something that was on the top of their minds. It's like, okay, we want to make a teen movie again.
Yeah, and also Jeremy Renner was supposed to take over for Tom Cruise. You didn't know that?
I forgot about it.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner was supposed to take over for Tom Cruise. But Tom Cruise brought in Christopher McQuarrie, which I didn't know until I listened to... Which there's a podcast out there for Mission Impossible. It's the Empire podcast from Empire Magazine. They did a podcast with Christopher McQuarrie. It's 2.5 hours. And he talks in depth about Rogue Nation and also his work on... I think he's uncredited, but... Tom Cruise brought Christopher McQuarrie in. He was just like, hey, they're kind of pushing me out a little bit. Could you brush up the script? And he is one of the reasons that Julia is in... Because Julia was supposed to die in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. She was supposed to be...
Off screen?
Yeah, she was supposed to die off screen, but Christopher McQuarrie was just like, that's like killing New and Aliens. You can't just do that. So how about she's in hiding, and that leads into a lot of stuff in Fallout. So yeah, he kind of fixed that, and he also kind of beefed up Tom Cruise's role. But what I do like about that is that Renner still has a great arc. All the characters in this movie still have. It's a great ensemble movie. It's Ethan's movie. It's I'm trying to remember these characters' names. I don't know why. Jeremy Renner's movie. It's Simon Pegg's movie. It's
Paula Patton
thank
disappeared.
you. Damn, yeah, Paula Patton's movie. Well, they all kind of disappear, don't they? Like Jeremy Renner's on Fallout.
Well, that was like a scheduling conflict. Though. Like, I guess Paul Patton was too for Rogue Nation, but I don't know about Fallout.
Yeah, hopefully they can bring her back. But yeah, I mean, Ghost Protocol it's. I remember watching it in the theater. And I was just like, this is a lot of fun, but I never really returned to it. I got the Blu-ray, and it was just like, yeah, okay. But I rewatched it the other day for Fallout, and it holds up a lot better than I remember. I mean, this is a really fun, entertaining movie that in all the cogs are working here, and I especially like how it's a movie about like everything falls apart around this team. Their gadgets don't work. They're disavowed. They don't have any backup. It's just them, and they have to function as a team for this entire thing to work. It's really forcing these people together to be a team so they can save the world, and they fail a lot. Like they pretty much fail this entire thing. Like every single thing they try to do, we have to get this person in a room. Okay, that person's not in that room, so we have to go to this room. That person got away. We have to stop this missile from launching. Oh shit, the missile launched. What are we gonna do now? Like I really like how they are constantly in a corner in this movie.
Yeah, and you didn't see it in IMAX, right?
No.
Yeah, the IMAX, it's really disappointing they didn't translate that over to the Blu-ray because, wow.
Yeah, I heard the late, great John Schnepp, he said it made him nauseated seeing it in IMAX because you actually felt like you were on the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah, that was me in the, I'll get into that, but that was me in the skydiving scene in Fallout.
Yeah, and also this movie kind of kicked off the set piece. This movie really...
That's true, yeah.
The last three movies don't really have... I guess you can say Mission Impossible has the train, and Mission Impossible 3 has the bridge and the building, but he didn't actually do that.
But it was like... Yeah, but it was more like... it was also like not... Like after the skyscraper scene, it was like people were expecting it.
Yeah.
Like, what crazy shit is Tom Cruise going to do now?
Yeah, and I also like that the Burj Khalifa is in the middle of the movie. I love when movies do, like, that giant set piece you always see in the trailers, it's in the middle. And then what happens after that, it's a little smaller, but it's still, it's still fun and everything, but it's just smaller, more contained, but you get this big thing in the middle of your movie. And you expect it coming, and it happens, and it's great, but you don't know what happens after that. So I really like that. And, and that just sets up, like... Because after the birds, they're just like, okay... Everybody was just like, okay, what the fuck is he going to do next? He just climbed the tallest building in the world. Is he going to go to space? He's going to do that. And so I guess that we can segue our way to Mission Impossible 5, unless you have anything else to...
Well, you didn't really talk about 1.
Huh?
Did we really talk about 1?
I don't really have anything to say about 1.
Okay.
Do you have anything to say about 1?
Well, the weird thing is, I thought it was more... Not that I thought it was boring, but I thought it was more boring than I did as a kid. But like, it reminds me of Solo. Like, it's slow, but I think it's good and it's well. I think it's well made. I think
Mission Impossible reminds you of Selma.
Solo.
Oh, it's like how?
I think the big action scene at the end kind of feels out of place. But
because that's Mission Impossible 1 is more like Langley and
it's very much a Brian De Palma movie.
Yeah, it's like it's on the ground very much.
But yeah, good movie that set the stage for the rest of the franchise. Because, like, 1 and 2, like, 3 kind of did that, and, like, 4 and so on more established it. But, 4 took, which is why I like 4 so much, like, 4 took what worked about all of them, and just put it into one movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But moving on to Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, which really, really surprised. I think this is honestly one of the best summer blockbusters to come out in a very long time. And it like this pretty much builds into Mission Impossible Rogue Nation and Fallout are kind of just one long movie in a way. Because it's the only movie that's really a direct sequel to each other. But yeah, Rogue Nation, it's a beautiful movie. I think it's the best looking Mission Impossible movie. No, wait, shit. It's one of the best looking Mission Impossible movies. The score from the get go, it's one of the few movies that really takes advantage of its opening credits. And I mean, not even the opening credits, the logos. Like as the stars are flying over to the Paramount logo, you already hear you hear the Mission Impossible score. The opening credits are great. The closing credits are great. Once again, it's a great team movie, and it introduces Elsa Faust, which is an exceptional character because she throughout the entire movie, you're just like, whose side are you on? And it's just fascinating to kind of put that puzzle together. The plane sequence, once again, they put the biggest set piece of their movie at the beginning of the movie. And I love that. Like, you have the plane lifting up, and then for the rest of the movie, because that's all you saw in the trailer, so the rest of the movie, you're just like, what's going to happen now? So, I like that, and yeah, it's just it's a fun movie, and it introduces Lane, which becomes much more complex as we move into Fallout. So, yeah, and it brings back Luther. Like Luther sat out for Mission Impossible 4, except for the end. But yeah, he comes back, and it's fun.
But it made sense that he wasn't in it too.
Yeah, and it's fun to see him and Benji bounce off each other, and him and Renner bounce off each other. I liked when they're in the car, and he's just like, you had to choose the 4x4, didn't you? So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this, and it also introduces us to McQuarrie. And the thing I love about McQuarrie is he has these scenes that are just sound driven. They're scoreless, and that car sequence that leads right into the motorcycle sequence is just beautiful and high octane.
Yeah, so good.
No matter what screen you watch it on, you feel like you really are there with all the cars passing by. So yeah, it's a fantastic movie. What are your thoughts on Rogue Nation?
Yeah, I agree with you. It did go down. It did go down a little bit for me watching it again, but it also could have just been me being burned out on Mission Impossible movies since I've been watching them for the past few days.
Here we go again, another impossible mission that's possible.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Fallout is the better version of Rogue Nation. But Rogue Nation, yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say on it. You pretty much covered it. I love how it's like a team movie, but it's also like it's kind of like assembling the team too. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, it isn't like how Simon Pegg and Tom Cruise have to come together with Jeremy Renner and Ving Rhames and just stuff like that. And the motorcycle scene is a standout. And
I can just say also, I like how this movie also explores their friendship. It's not just team. It's not just being a team. And actually, like, Renner says, like, if I have to betray my friends, I'm going to do it right. And like that scene between Benji and Tom at the end of toward the end of the movie where they're sitting at the table, like, you actually get a sense that these people do care about each other.
This is a franchise that keeps reinventing itself.
Yeah,
Rogue Nation did that as well, and Fallout just builds on that.
All right, and moving into Fallout. So for first and foremost, spoilers or no spoilers?
Let's do spoilers.
Spoilers, okay. So we're going to have spoilers in this section. If you haven't seen Mission Impossible Fallout, go away.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Stop listening. And go see Fallout, because it's really good. Miller, see it in IMAX?
Yeah.
See it in IMAX, go see it on the biggest screen possible, then come back and listen to this section. So Mission Impossible Fallout is Chris McQuarrie returning again, most of the cast returning again, except for Jeremy Renner, unfortunately. And Miller, what'd you think about it? You have heard what I've had to say. If you guys don't know, I really liked it. I think starts off a little slow. It starts off a little wonky.
Did you do a review?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it starts out a little wonky, but I still really liked it. And Miller, what'd you think?
Well, first of all, I just gotta say this because I think it's kind of funny and weird. But I like how Jeremy Renner did in 2015. He did Avengers and Mission Impossible But like this year, he couldn't do Avengers or Mission Impossible, but he did. He could do tag.
Holy shit. That's weird.
Yeah, I mean, with Avengers, because with Avengers, it was like, okay, he just wasn't in it because he didn't need to be. But like, I don't know why. I don't know if he wasn't in, because it sounded like he wasn't in Fallout because of
Avengers.
Yeah, well, or scheduling stuff.
He said on his Instagram that he.
But I guess he's in Avengers 4 though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He said on his Instagram that he's been he shot Avengers for like 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but that is weird that he couldn't return for either of the sequels.
Yeah, but he returned. But he was able to do the 2 sequels in 2014, 2015. But he is a.
I swear, if he doesn't have a lot to do in Avengers 4,
yeah, it's like what? But he's incredible in tag.
Because he misses out on, and look, Jeremy Renner's gonna be fine. He's a great actor.
Well, this is funny. He misses out on like 2 of the biggest movies.
Yeah,
of the year.
Seriously, like you miss out on like one of the biggest movies of all time, and then you miss out on a movie that's probably going to go down as one of the greatest action movies of all time, and you're on Tag. But which Tag is great, by the way. Please go see Tag.
Oh yeah, he's amazing in it.
But Miller, I want to know your thoughts on Mission Impossible Fallout.
I think I think I said earlier, I told you at least. I think it takes a little bit to get going for me personally, but like once it gets going,
yeah. I mean, the thing with me, like, I
don't really know what you mean. Explain with that.
My friend, like, I saw it with my friend. I was just like, the exposition was a little. Like, when I understand that you have to lay out the mission, but I was just like, just feels a little off.
To what point?
To what? What do you mean, what point?
Like, when did it stop feeling off for you?
When did it stop? The bathroom scene. When they landed in Paris, that's when I was just like, the movie's, it's going.
Okay. Yeah, I think, I get that, but I think it's like I think you kind of need that.
Because before that, I was just like, even some of the dialogue, like, he's late. He's never late. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? I don't know. It sounded like a movie. It just sounded like very, very movie dialogue. But other than that, when they landed in Paris, and especially when the audience reaction when Henry Cavill gets struck by lightning is still one of the best things. You're afraid of a little lightning? Oh, shit! Like, it's great.
Yeah, and then you, like, the camera, like, it's focusing on Tom Cruise and it pans over to Henry Cavill and you're like, holy shit, he's not awake.
Seems like you lost your oxygen. Well, you motherfucker, I had to give it to you.
Henry Cavill, though, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's great. I like how brutish he is, especially in that bathroom scene. Like, you can see the clear, especially how Angela Bassett explains, like, you choose a scalpel, I use a hammer. You get to see that dichotomy very, very quickly.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite villain.
Okay.
Because he's so, like you get what he's doing, but he's, like, so sinister. Or do you get what he's doing? I don't know.
No, I get what he's doing. I like that he's smarter than he looks. I like how he's the one who wrote the manifesto. He's the one, he's the one who thinks that you have to bring down the old world or whatever. Like, I like that.
I don't know. Did you notice how they spoiled it right at the beginning?
Yeah, but I don't think a lot.
I don't know if that was intentional, because I was reading something about how, like, that was just part of what Makari was doing, which I mean I respect.
I think he's just giving us the necessary, because when I've seen the movie twice. When I first watched it, it's. So at what point was you didn't explain earlier. What point did you see what point is the spoiler for you?
When the Ethan Hunt, when he's being briefed about the mission, and they show, like, oh, these are the apostles, and they're showing just pictures of them with their eyes blacked out, and I see a guy in, like, the corner to the left that looks exactly like Henry Cavill.
I did not see that.
I don't know if that was him.
See, I thought. Oh, go ahead.
I just saw that, and it planted the idea in the head, so I just assumed.
See, my thing, I thought you were talking about the cell phone, because the first time I watched it, I never noticed the cell phone. Because the second time I watched it, Ethan Hunt picks up a cell phone and it's cracked. He picks it up from who they thought was John Lark, the guy in the bathroom.
Oh, and then it's not cracked.
It's not cracked when he gives it to Angela Bassett. So I was just like, oh, he was showing us the entire time that because everybody in the theater when I saw it tonight, they were like, it's not cracked. So like I thought that's what you were talking about. Like Christopher McQuarrie's giving us, which I like that. Like he's not trying to make it too complicated. He's just like, if you didn't notice it before, you didn't notice it. If you did notice it, you know something's up.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't think it's necessarily spoilerish because not everybody's going to get it. And even if you do get it, you're going to be like, when is he going to turn? Why is he?
Yeah, exactly.
It can become the Elsa Faust thing of like, why is he still helping Ethan when he can just kill Ethan?
But no, he's just evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that scene's great too when they confirm it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
how Angela Bassett's just like, did you hear all that? Yeah, I did. And it was like, yes.
Alec Baldwin, that was so sad.
I know, right? Like I didn't expect. I honestly thought they were going to kill. I thought they were going to kill Benji, but I thought they were going to kill Benji at the beginning of the movie. But yeah, his death is just, especially like how he pulls him in and to stab him again. I was like, you bastard.
Yeah, I was like, Henry. Damn, it's like the whole time we've been like, Henry Cavill should play Bond. It's like, no, he should play Bond now.
Yeah, he should. No, he should. I think he really should. I mean, hell, even in another world, he could have played.
Wait, what? Darren, I got an idea. What if he plays Bond, but the villain is Bond's twin?
No.
Do you not like that?
No, that gives me like
that's too much.
That gives me flashbacks to Spectre.
Yeah, but you could
of the mountain.
You could have done that well though. That wasn't the plot's fault, or that wasn't the twist's fault.
I don't know. Like with the Bond movies, with the Daniel Craig Bond movies, I was just like, they're finally not exploring his past. They're just moving on from that. Oh fuck, they're exploring his past.
Yeah.
But yeah, Henry Cavill is just like, and in another world, he could have even played Batman for crying out loud. Like he is.
Well, you did audition for Batman.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was like in the string of when he like got a reputation of having really bad luck because he tried out
Bond, Superman, I guess Batman,
Twilight
too,
Harry Potter.
Wow.
Yeah, he lost 2 roles to Robert Pattinson.
And Robert Pattinson got them both.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you just said that.
But yeah, hopefully this will open up opportunities.
Yeah, and also hopefully this will give Warner
Brothers... I mean,
he
gets work, but just this is just showing that he does.
That he's dynamic. Like he can do a lot. This guy, like he can play the charm. Even in Man from U.N.C.L.E., he can do the charming spy. In this movie, he can do a really villainous piece of shit, and that's very intimidating. And he can also like switch it on and off. So yeah, and I hope this like gives Warner Brothers the heads up, like, hey, give him something to fucking do as Superman because he can leave. He can do a lot of other things. But another. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, or what? Maybe we'll get into what I was going to talk about. What were you going to say?
I also wanted to point out Vanessa Kirby, which is another actress. I loved her in this movie.
Yeah,
and she's in Hobbs and Shaw, right?
Yeah, she's Jason Statham's sister.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see more of her because she was amazing. And I love how she treats Ethan like she's getting like really turned on by this like evil guy.
Yeah,
especially like when he's just like, yeah, like I've killed, I bombed like a village of children and men.
especially when you find out she's a good guy.
Yeah, and it's just like, what is wrong with you? So yeah, I really enjoyed her, and especially when she got that guy with the knife. When she got that guy with the knife, that was an excellent cut. That was like, you don't see any blood in this movie, but you know exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's like when they shoot the guy in the bathroom.
Yeah, and you can kind of see the bullet a little bit going into his head, but they couldn't. Can you still make a mask? I need a face to make a mask.
But yeah, that probably the most like uncomfortably intense in a good way scene in the entire movie. At least for I don't know how it was in non-IMAX, but when they were skydiving, like Jesus Christ, I felt like I was falling.
It was fine in my it was fine in my standard definition. It was just like, oh yeah, they're skydiving. I need to see it in IMAX because I want to feel like I'm falling.
Yeah, my only problem with the IMAX is the whole, or a lot of the finale is in IMAX, and the camera they used is really weird. Like it looks like I was telling you, it looked like B-roll. Some of it, because I saw like a little bit of B-roll. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was watching the scene. I'm like, that looks exactly like the B-roll I saw.
Yeah.
Like, which I'm like, that's weird.
It just takes you out of it a little bit.
Yeah, it's very clear, but like it didn't look like that the whole time. But it's annoying. But I wouldn't have mind. I think they should shoot the next one. They should get that Avengers camera.
And to shoot it.
Yeah, shoot the entire thing in IMAX. I think that would be great. Because I think when it goes to... It's very noticeable when it goes to, like, IMAX to... Or full IMAX ratio than non.
I can... That helicopter... The helicopter sequence, did it go on a little too long for you?
No, I was into it.
It does go on a little bit long for me, but I still think it is like that's. I did feel like I was really with him on the helicopter. I did say that much. Did you notice when he jumped into the helicopter, everybody has fucking mustaches?
Wait, I thought it was Henry Cavill at first.
Yeah, and I was just like, why does he look exactly like Henry Cavill? Like the pilot and the guy just sitting there. I like how he's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because that would have been a good scene of them just fighting in the helicopter while it's going down.
And I like the helicopter when it's going down and rolling and everything. I think that is like truly Mission Impossible.
Yeah, classic.
The entire thing, like both of the times I've seen it, the entire audience was just like, "There's no way. There's no fucking way that would happen." And like how they're stuck. It just becomes so improbable that it just works within this franchise. So yeah, and then you also said the Paris sequence you liked too, right?
Oh my god, that is like one of the best things I've ever seen. Like I was like, I can't believe this. Like I'm watching this right now. This is like watching The Dark Knight in 2008.
My friend did say that. He said it reminded him a lot, like when they were lining up the cars, trying to get the police into that bridge or whatever. He was just like, this reminds me a lot of The Dark Knight.
Yeah, like it got, and even like a little bit of Dark Knight Rise, like the
police chase.
Yeah. Like the movie has a lot of problems, but like that whole like trilogy kind of like builds up to that sequence where they're trying to find the bomb, and you're just like, you're into it because you're just like, oh, like this is the end. Like even in like, and that was like in Mission Impossible feels like that. It's the middle of the fucking movie. You're just like, Jesus Christ.
And you're like, how is he gonna get away? And all of the maneuvers he's doing makes so much sense. Like, I'm gonna go through this way to get away from the cops. I'm gonna go into the circle because the cops are not gonna. And he's not trying to harm them either. Like, he's trying to play this delicate game of like, I'm not gonna make you guys crash into each other. I'm just gonna try to get away.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I wouldn't. I'd probably be more interested in seeing him do a Superman movie because just more different than a Mission Impossible movie would be. But if the opportunity ever like came about, I'd be really into him seeing Christopher McQuarrie do a Batman movie.
Hey, it would be cool. I mean, because especially just the practicality of that. Or if he brings it over. Well, no, he did it with Jack Reacher. So. What
do you mean?
Just like the practicality of what he can do with a Batman movie.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, and also him running, and like him almost missing that building gets everybody. He got both screenings. Everybody was just like, "Holy shit, he's with the miss!" And then he grabs it, and then he pulls himself up. And then,
my audience was very respectful. I was surprised. I was like, this is like Like, no one's saying anything. It's great.
And then another audience response that always works too so far, is when Henry Cavill knocks the guy out with the suitcase.
So good. And then they open the computer. And Humphries just looks at him. Yeah, I didn't know Wes Bentley was in it until they showed him in the credits.
Yeah.
I was like, I love Wes Bentley. It's
and
so
Julia,
cool.
him finding Julia, and you're just like, oh no, Wayne planned all of this. He's trying to kill everybody you ever loved.
Like, that's incredible. Yeah, that was my heart sank, and then you realize they're not gonna get back together.
And then Luthor having that speech, I love, like, Vig Rhames. I guess maybe it's his age. He doesn't get to like do a lot of the physical stuff, but
he's never done the physical stuff.
Has
though.
he never really?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's always
this movie,
he's always in the truck or something.
In this movie, I just noticed a little bit more. They're just like, Luthor, you stay here. We're gonna run over here. It's just like, okay, guys, come on.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think that's just how it's always, mostly how it's always been.
Yeah, but Vig Rhames, I think he does, like, when he's talking to Elsa, and he's just like, I love that scene. I think that is a show-stopping scene.
Oh yeah, so good.
Yeah, of him just saying, like, you probably need to stay here. And this movie really, I think this is kind of the definitive Mission Impossible movie because it explores who Ethan is, and he's a person who just cares deeply about his team and deeply about people. I like how they explore every aspect of that. He is the person who cares more about the one life than everybody else, and that's how he succeeds.
Oh yeah, that scene too was great in the hospital, quote unquote.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. When Wolf Blitzer showed up, the audience goes crazy. They're just like, they got Wolf Blitzer.
As a man.
Yeah, but I mean, this movie is just high octane goodness. It's so great, and it's so meticulously crafted. And the music, before we move, the music. I think this is like, it's hard to rank these movies, but the music in this film this is my favorite score of any of them.
Oh, the music's so
The music is insane, and it blends. It
carries.
Does,
it's like a ballet performance.
Yes. It does it blends everything from the last 6 movies, but it also does something new and fresh onto its own.
Yeah, like Mission Impossible doesn't really get Oscar attention, but I think they should get it for like score at least.
Yes.
Because the score is like a whole nother character.
Man, does it keep you on your feet, especially when before they go to India or whatever, and it zooms into the camera. Oh my god, it's so good. And one last thing.
When do you mean?
Like, they zoom to the camera, and then the score just really picks up with the drums.
When they go to India?
It's not India. I can't remember exactly where they went.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about Protocol for a second.
It's somewhere in the world. I know that much, but. But yeah, wherever they go. But lastly, before we move on, I do want to say this movie doesn't make an effort to be completely different from Rogue Nation. This is not Christopher McQuarrie he didn't try to like recreate what he did or play the greatest hits of what he did in his last film.
Yeah, you just build on top of that.
Yeah, and it feels
like naturally.
Yeah, it feels like a very, very different film, and that's great. And also, it calls back to every other Mission Impossible movie. It's like the score, it's doing its own thing, but also calling back what
are the callbacks?
I mean, the mountain climbing, road motorcycles,
okay. Yeah.
Mountain climbing motorcycles. There's another thing in 3. I guess you could say Julia. There's another set piece in 3 that I'm forgetting that he calls back to.
What about 1? What about 1?
What?
1.
1 what?
Do they call back to 1 at all? The first one.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, for some reason I thought you were saying Rogue One. I was just like,
You mean Rogue Nation?
No. In the essence that it's Mission Impossible.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I was making sure I didn't miss anything.
But yeah, this is a really good movie, and I can't wait to see it again. But just moving on from here. So I think we're both in agreement that we don't want McQuarrie coming as good, and this is nothing against McQuarrie.
Oh no,
we don't want McQuarrie coming back for the 7th.
I think it made sense for him to come back for this one.
Yeah, because it is a direct sequel to what he presented.
Yeah, but like this kind of like because it was weird because they were kind of building. It's like they were building towards an end game with Julia, and then they kind of wrapped that up.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, okay, so it's just more Mission Impossible.
Yeah, because like she's probably on the IMF now. Elsa's probably on the IMF now.
Yeah, we got, and Jeremy Renner can come back if he has time. If he's not kidnapped, held for ransom somewhere. Yeah, you can bring anyone back you want from these movies.
I think it's time for another reinvention. I think like this is definitely time for bring someone new and fresh in. I was thinking Justin Lin. I think that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Scott Wampler on Twitter, he brought up Gore Verbinski, and yes, just so.
Did you look at the article?
What article?
That Birth Movies Death. That he posted on Birth Movies Death.
No. What was it?
What was it about directors he thought would be good? He said, I can pull up. Yeah, he said Gore Verbinski, that would be like. So let Gore Verbinski make a really fucked up Mission Impossible.
Yes. And also, he's really good at set pieces. Like, regardless of what you guys think of.
Oh, the last 20 minutes of Lone Ranger are incredible.
Yeah, and like the Pirates of the Caribbean and Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End and Dead Man's Chest, they have great set pieces.
And he kept that momentum going.
Yeah.
Even though, like, as ridiculous as the movies got, they just kept going. But yeah, he said Gore Verbinski, George Miller, it's no Mad Max movies are happening anytime soon. Chad Stahelski.
No. No, hell no. Keep him away. No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but no. Keep him away from this.
I feel like he would make more of a it was like everybody at Birth Movies Death contributing. But he was like he'd make more like standard action movie.
Yeah.
Like I think a Mission Impossible 3. Karen Kusama, who did the Invitation. Jennifer, I think
she would.
He did Jennifer Body too. Oh, wow. She.
I think she would make more of a Mission Impossible 1. Just going off her resume.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. She has an interesting resume, though. Eddie Madelon, who did Kathy's Curse, I'm not really familiar with her. And then John Krasinski.
All right.
Which that's a mic drop, right?
Is it?
I could see. I think that'd be really cool.
I don't.
Okay. He's doing Jack Reacher.
He's not directing it.
No, but I mean he's in it, so he's like familiar with that world.
Okay,
I mean, you wouldn't say like you could see him doing a horror movie before.
How about Andrew Stanton?
That would be really cool.
I think Andrew Stanton would be cool.
Yeah, Redemption.
Yes.
He only did the one live action movie.
Yeah, he did John Carter, and then like, he was just like Pixar. I'll do Finding Dory now.
But he hasn't done anything since, right?
No, he did Finding Dory. That's it.
He did some Stranger Things episodes.
Oh shit! And yeah, that was actually really good.
Did he do season 2 or just season 1?
He did season 2, episode 6.
Oh,
and that one's pretty good. It was very scary and killed off a very pivotal character, unfortunately. But
it's not too happy about it.
No. But yeah, the future. Also, because a YouTuber I follow, Patrick H. Willems. If you don't watch his videos, you really should. They're great. But he brought up a good point of maybe just doing one more and bringing everybody back and just doing like a Mission Impossible extravaganza. Just one last one. I at least want 2 more.
That would make sense.
At the very least, I would like at least 2 more, but just have it be a story that wraps everything up. How about you?
I agree with. I think 2 more because
that's just me being greedy.
Yeah, I'd like to see one with like because we have like a very established team.
Yeah.
Now, so I'd like to see that, and Jeremy Renner come back.
And Paula Patton. Like, if you can just get Jeremy and Paula, that's it. Like, I guess the people from 3, Maggie Q and John Rhys Meyers, you can leave them. But, sorry. This kid...
Well, they'll come back in the final one.
Yeah, get Paula Patton and Jeremy Renner back and just have a fucking extravaganza.
Well, do it like the end of, or kind of like Fate of the Furious.
Yeah. Where
you just had people that you did not expect to come back at all, even though if you pay attention to the opening credits, you can see there in the movie. So don't do that. But
well, I think it's kind of impossible to do that in a Mission Impossible movie with their brilliant opening credits. So
yeah, they do that really well.
Yes, and it's
every time it's like they're gonna spoil something, and they don't.
Exactly right. They don't. So it's so weird. They cut those miraculously. But yeah, I think you definitely get a new director, and I think it just needs one last spin. Like the first two movies are the first two movies. 3, 4, 5 is the new reinvention, and 6 is the I think 3, 4, 5, and 6 is that's the quadruple trilogy, whatever the fuck. It's
quadrilogy.
Thank you. The quadrilogy, and then after that, we have some new people on board. Elsa's a part of the team now. Reinvented one more time, then probably wrap it up. Because I don't want to see. I don't think without Tom Cruise, you don't really, unless there's another crazy motherfucker out there, you don't really have this. Like one of the.
Yeah, I don't know if people want to see it too. They just like make up a new franchise then.
Yeah, because like you need you need Tom Cruise doing his crazy stuff for this franchise to work. Because it does help that, like, he's actually dropping from this line that he's hanging from a helicopter. He fell off of that.
Yeah. Was Henry Cavill hanging from the line, too?
I'm pretty sure he was on the helicopter. I have to look up the behind the scenes, but I'm pretty
sure. He said on Kimmel, he told them, I want to do any of my own stunts that won't, like, possibly endanger someone.
Yeah, because he did say, like, the reason he had to keep the mustache... No, Christopher McQuarrie said the reason he had to keep the mustache is that you can't have a fake mustache with him going that fast in a helicopter.
Does that add up, or...?
I've never been on a helicopter.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
My brain didn't register what you said. Yeah, Christopher McQuarrie just like laughing maniacally after he gets off the phone with Josh Whedon. Son of a bitch.
I mean, he did say like we gave them everything they needed to we try to accompany Justice League the best we could, but I mean they did. They were supposed to be done, so there's nothing else they could do.
Yeah. Tom Cruise can't help it. So.
But just go ahead and wrap it up. Anything else to say on the Mission Impossible franchise?
No, it's a franchise that I've known for a long time and will continue to watch and enjoy, hopefully.
Yeah, just don't lose momentum. Just keep being awesome, and yeah, I don't know what the hell, like. A lot of pressure on the next person to step up.
Yeah, because requires like have fun.
Because he just made this is going to go down in history as one of those. And I really does bug me. I know money isn't everything, but it really does bug me that this movie isn't going to make like $1 billion. Like this isn't.
Yeah.
People aren't showing up in droves to see this, but you really should because it's a really, really good movie. And also, there's a lot of great stuff coming out this weekend, too. 8th Grade, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, which looks hilarious. Blind Spotting, just a lot of goodness out there. Please go check it out. So, yeah, this was episode 4 of I Turn on a Microphone. If you guys like this episode, please give us a thumbs up. Also, subscribe if you like hearing us talk about movies. We'll be back next week, probably talking about either 8th Grade. Well, I really want to do an episode with 8th Grade and Sorry to Bother You, if you're down with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about those movies because I really want to go more in depth of Sorry to Bother You, which is a
Well,
movie.
yeah, if you don't know, technically a guest on this
Yeah.
show, but yeah, I'm always down to talk with Les Dog about.
See, Miller is the guy. Miller, he's
I'm the guy who you want to punch after I tell you what I thought of Sorry to Bother You.
that too, but he's also probably the only person who sees as many movies as I do, so he's always good to bring.
Yeah,
on.
I just think so.
He probably sees more movies than I do, so yeah, he's always a good person to bring on.
Yeah, I'm really curious if Eighth Grade will, if it'll become my favorite movie of the year. Because it's very much up my alley.
Yeah, same. I mean, what they're describing is like my personality and also my eighth grade year. So,
well, yeah, eighth grade was like if my year went as well, if my eighth grade year went as well as the rest of my life, I'd be in Harvard right now probably. But so I can't relate to it from that standpoint.
Well,
but
fuck you.
I was trying to be funny, okay?
If my eighth grade year went
I didn't say every year.
I know, but like, if my eighth grade year was like what did you say again? What was your setup?
If every year of my life was as good as my eighth grade year of school, I'd be in Harvard right now.
I think if it was as bad as my eighth grade, or even as good, I don't know, I might be in like an insane asylum or something.
Jesus Christ, I can only imagine. Yeah.
It was not fun.
I guess I had a different school environment than Darren did.
Oh man, but yeah. So we'll be back at a later date.
I related a lot to Lady Bird. That made you feel better.
I didn't. I don't even
does
like
that make
that
you
movie.
feel? But does that make you feel better about your eighth grade experience?
No, nothing ever.
Seeing the movie, well, you'll feel comforted.
Sheesh, I just can't sit next to anybody during that, just sobbing in the back.
Yeah, like, I need a movie.
It gets me! But, yeah, fuck Lady Bird. Not fuck, sorry. It's too strong. But just forget Lady Bird. I don't know. I honestly thought I would love that movie, but it does not.
Is it weaker now than it was?
I don't even think
back then.
I don't think about it.
It sounded like you liked it more back then.
It does not resonate with me. It's just one of those movies. It's one of those Oscar movies that just happened, and I don't think about. Like, I mean, I haven't thought about The Post and.
Post. I thought about the Post. I think I thought about the Post when I can never pronounce his name. Like Matthew Rees, the guy from The Americans. When he joined the Mr. Rogers movie. I was like, oh yeah, he was in The Post. I forgot about that.
He was in Mr. Rogers?
No, he's going to be in the... Isn't Tom Hanks playing Mr. Rogers?
Oh yeah, they're making another one.
Yeah, he's in that.
Why is everybody making Mr. Rogers movies?
Yeah, that's true. Well, that all came out after the documentary started doing really well, so...
Good God, I don't think about any of these movies. I just look back at all the nominees, and I don't think about any of these.
I think about Phantom Thread.
I thought about Phantom Thread when I needed to find that comment the other day.
Oh, God, Phantom Thread.
I have no time for confrontations.
I'm more angry about Shape of Water winning Best Picture now than I was. When I just think about that, I'm just like, that's ridiculous. But
oh God, I still don't mind it. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's just like you had like Call Me by Your Name, Phantom Thread, much better movies. Yeah, think about Call Me by Your Name, especially in the summer. Like I need to watch that movie again in the summer.
I need to watch Hot Summer Nights. Which, by the way, it's July 27th. Where is that movie?
Well, it's on DirecTV.
It is?
Yeah. So, like, I don't know if it's over.
It has a 38 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's apparently horrible, but Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, that's that. I'm gonna turn off the thing now. Bye.